What up, my freaks? RuinusInsight here with part, I want to say 50 of my Total Warhammer 3 modded Belegar Ironhammer campaign. So as we saw last time, Angrund Iron Fist and Khazad Dragon Slayer worked together in a massive slayer tide to wash away the Bone Rattlers near Khazad-HA. We were victorious, and while we did take some damage, fortunately Angrund's army is one of those few armies we have that can actually heal up a pretty massive amount fairly quickly, so it's a good thing to have fragile Slayer units that die at the drop of a hat, because we can heal them up at the drop of a hat as well. Actually, they don't wear hats. At the drop of a mohawk. There we go. Alrighty, now, in terms of what we got to do this time around, there is the potential of sieging Morgheim here and properly beginning our war with the Exiles of Khorne. Really haven't seen much of them as yet, but I'm pretty sure and that's going to change shortly. We've also ended the turn, so we can get some buildings constructed, and can also probably continue to move towards various other targets. I did want to take Firemouth, though once again the problem here is that these armies, they just ain't healing. They really ain't healing, and that's in green territory, so if we do this, they'll get even further damaged. But we gotta fight Grimgor, and let's see, out of curiosity, in Grimgor you have 9 settlements, but you're currently weak right now. And you're probably not going to get much weaker than that, so, decent to take advantage of it. Anyway, and we gotta begin with you, Constructor Morgrimel. You got constructoring to do, which is a word I swear. And free stuff is free stuff, so free. And what were we gonna build in Cradtommen? Does this place border enough territories to make it worth our time to build a trading depot? Well, let's see. The construction market will increase the building up income straight up, which, considering the fact that we will have a gem mine here on top of these things, will probably make this place a fairly decent money-making province. That said, let's see, it currently borders the Barrier Idols and Floating Village, although we probably won't be making as much money at the Marshes of Madness, rather. So that's 2 territories it borders, 3 here at 4 Nagashazar, but we don't care about Nagashazar, at least we don't care about the money and that it makes. So to answer my own question, I'm not sure. Construction market, let's just go for the construction market here. Bordering a bunch of provinces or not, and we'll still get a decent amount of a benefit from this. And then we could always, if we wanted to, replace the Stonebread Bakeries with another one of those buildings that's nearby. Then again, wait, there's also Lamia, so it'll be... yeah, but Lamia isn't a full province. You know, just leave it as it is, it's fine. Anyway, Morgrimel, you're ready to move. Let's get you moving up, let's say here. No, there's nothing to build there. Alright, well then I guess we're going all the way up here and trying to get to Karak Zul. Probably gonna be a while before we get there, but when we do, there is a bunch of stuff to be building. Alrighty, next up, our second constructor, Furrowbrow. You have nothing here. You are going to move into... well, this place will be good in a turn or so. Also, you guys need to move southward. Go. I'm wondering, Constructor Furrowbrow, is there anything nearby where we could use your construction to help? I mean, we could go up here, but honestly, this stuff doesn't really cost all that much anyway. So it's probably not super significant. We could head you to Karak, but we do know that there is super expensive stuff. It's this stuff, which the reductions we currently have on you just aren't enough. Not until we get more stuff. I guess the public order here is mostly okay. Not so much here at the Eastern Border Princes, but, well, what can you do? Well, either way, let's pop you into Valea's Will. Let's head you closer, at least, to Stone Mine Tower. Maybe once we have our new constructor thing here, join the army, we can reduce this place's stuff significantly enough to actually upgrade it without having the rest of the engineer corps do it. Alrighty, and that's good enough for now. Let's move some armies around. Alaric Ranulfson, you guys are about to attack Morgheim, which is going to be our first proper... ooh, wait. Oh, let's have Durgrim Drakebeard do this. Yeah, let's have Durgrim Drakebeard do this. We need the cannons to knock down the enemy towers after all, so let's do that. Valiant defeat? I don't think so, but we'll be attacking this in a few. And this turn. And then Alaric, you can move in and camp stance and stand nearby. You can provide reinforcements to this. We could even provide even more reinforcements via Halkenhaf's piles upon piles of miners and stuff, but I don't think we'll need them. And not for a single territory. Alright, who's up next? Let's move everybody around, then we'll fight, and then we can build the rest of the buildings, though with our units already engaged by and large, we should probably be okay. As in our constructor units already engaged. We do want Grimly to move to Recruiter Grimtide's son. If we march stance... how much bunch you just march stance? You're still okay. Hopefully Scarby isn't like right here, ready to take back Gronti Mingle. I wouldn't be surprised, but I might be annoyed. Oh, actually, you being here will reduce the construction costs of this further, then maybe together with Constructor Furrowbrow, it'll be enough. Beautiful. Alrighty, Fimber Ironhammer. I'm still not sure. Well, first of all, you can't reach Firemouth, so I guess we'll move you up. In camp stance, mind you. I mean, we can't just sit here, hurt or not, we should still probably fight. Wait. How far can you move? Not very far. Well, we're sending both of you up here. Like so, and like so. And then we should be able to take Firemouth and at least some of these territories, and, well, it's really Karak Zorn that we want, because it's an actual Karak, even though we can't build a landmark there, but still. Alrighty, let's keep going. Burundan, you were building stuff. So build stuff you shall. Let's go for the Goral Mine here, and let's upgrade you, Bilbali, as well. That's obviously going to be cheap because of all the reductions we have to main settlements. Kazad Kabzar. Probably going to be expensive to build stuff here, even with you. Reduction minus 7%. Yeah, really not all that much. Though we do need more growth here. Alright, fine. Just build the granary either way. And you know what? Maybe we'll build the engineer's workshop. See, the problem is nobody's going to come here, as in nobody's going to... we're not going to get the engineer corps all this way just for this place. Well, either way, I think it's inescapable that we'll need the walls here, because when the endgame scenario arrives, the rats will appear in great numbers there, so, yeah. And I guess... the same thing's basically true of all the surrounding territories. Alright, you know what, just spend the money. And just spend the money so that you don't have to be there, and then we can return to continue public ordering this place, as we clearly need it, and then back to Montanas you go as well afterwards. Hopefully we can counteract the Confederation debuff soon, as we should have the Axe of Drago, or Drago, whatever, quest up and running. Also, Zufbar, well, you know what, let's build stuff here. Do we need anything at Grand Peak? This, but not right now, so let's have you, and you go here. And then that's a little bit of extra reduction here, and then let's get these buildings built. Castle Drakenhof, there is reductions there. We do have the walls at Schwarzhofen, but we don't actually need them anymore. I mean, just delete those. I mean, basically this entire province needs to be retooled anyway, so let's switch you briefly back to Masters of Stone and Steel, and get ready to move you two down there to reduce the costs. Though soon we'll probably have to delete some of this, because these guys aren't really serving too much of a purpose, just like running around here. Though being near to Grand Peak for when the Red Eye respawn is going to be useful, that's still fairly long ways away. Anyway, Bernoth Grundadrak, you're carrying the Iron Breakers towards Mr. Explosion Hammer up there, so go over there. Oh, you can take out the Darkhold camp for us, so that Belegar doesn't have to do it. Oh, I like that. I like that very much. Hopefully they won't have time to build anything, but yeah, that'll give another use to you. Alright, I'm glad I stopped you in place. Scav Hogmog. We are now out of gyrocopter recruitment capacity. Well, A, that means we can recruit elsewhere now. I guess that means we're heading all the way down to Valea's Sorrow. Do we need to transfer any of these gyrocopters to anybody? Not at the current time. We probably will, I just haven't decided which army yet. Let's head you down to Karak Eight Peaks where you do the recruiting. Alright. And wait, should I have sent you through Angrund perhaps to reduce the construction costs there further? I think I should have. Go this way. And you can stop by in Bitterstone. Alrighty. You guys are also supposed to sort of be here. Reduce construction costs. Go for it. Stay together though, because you're all to be deleted except Mr. Not Delete Baron Clanbreaker. You are not to be deleted. You guys know how I know that? Alright. It's already paying for itself by amusing me. Alrighty, next up, Halkenhalf, we've moved you, Thorgrim. You are heading down to Scarbrand as well, though we do want to check whether... do we have a free lord anywhere? You, Thorek. I want to check whether we have the capability of building another Hellstorm. Nope, not quite yet. Border Princes still, I assume, no access to them? No. No Fire Rain rockets from the northern provinces. And no Fire Rain rockets from the western provinces either. Or Sky Junks. Well, that's unfortunate. Cult of Sigmar's getting there up in terms of the allegiance, but otherwise isn't providing us anything. Tilea is similarly useless to the Border Princes. Reichland is no access to the rocket batteries. And Ropsman Clan matters not. Okay. Well, Thorgrim, keep going then. We still have to get you an engineer, but for now, go fight some demons. Alright. And I guess... Obviously, his artillery are going to change, it's just that, well, we don't have the higher levels of artillery right now, so we have to use the basics. We have to still get him some engineers. Let me just see. Oh, we have to mill the engineers. Okay, well, if we have to mill them, we have to mill them. One of you should be quite millable. Not Delete Man. Who's the other one? Okay, we have a level 4 that is Cunning, which could actually be useful, and a level 5, which is Ancestral Blood Gazul, which is completely useless. But we'll keep the level 5 because he has a second level in his thing, whereas you only have the 1 level. Yeah, you only have the 1 level. Alright, you, Master Engineer, I know you're cunning, but you're not cunning enough to survive being deleted, so you're out. And then we'll replace you with the, I don't know, Valea one, doesn't really matter. We'll give you back Stonemason, and we gotta keep milling. Forever milling. Ancillaries, Stonemason. I do wish that there was a way to automate this process, because it's kind of irritating, but once again, what can you do? Alrighty, let's see who else needs to move. That should have been close to the end. That was Thorgrim. We've already moved Thorek. Durgrim is ready to attack, and we will attack with him in a second. Sven Razgal continuing to sit here and wait for the opportune moment. And Thurgrom Damon, I have no idea who you are. Oh, right. You're a Seeker. And you're cunning. Seeker. There you go. He's supposed to find Grumbrindal. And to Grumbrindal you go down to, as suggested, the sea lane down here. I'm not sure whether this will save us. Well, actually, it should probably save us about a turn or two. It takes a long time to get all the way to the sea lane, mind you. But it would also take a long time to go through all of Cathay, so either way, either way. Now, that was all the moves, or at the very least all the current moves, so it's time to finally attack with our cannons, with our grudge rakers, and all that we have here. Should be a fun time. Let's get to it. Alrighty, the first little foray for the gun army, just the beginning for it, of course, and I think we lucked out in the form of the map that we got. This particular map has a nice hill right before the walls here, and no towers that can fire upon us, which means our cannons can get to work and fire on top of the walls. I've definitely had a great time playing the Skaven on this particular map because the Warplock Jezzail's ability to fire upon the walls. I'm waiting. Cannon. There we go. Alright, yeah, so the cannons can do the same thing, and as we can clearly see, they've already done a fairly decent amount of damage to those poor bloodletters on top of the walls. I did make a little mistake as I was trying to get the battle started faster, and I accidentally deployed these guys over here just a little bit too close to the walls, which allowed one of our units to lose some units to the enemy towers, but fortunately they're already out of range, and that's, well, pretty much all the damage those units will take, though they'll take some time to return to the rest of our battle line. It happens, especially when you get cocky and think, well, the enemy has absolutely no chance here. Alrighty, well, the bombardment's going to continue for a while, and we're going to get a little bit of support from our flyers as well. Once again, looking absolutely fantastic with the red and blue color scheme on the gyrocopters. Might be my favorite scheme for the gyrocopters, actually, as the monotone or the monocolor color schemes don't seem nearly as nice. Yeah, very nice gyros. Anyway, they can do a little bit of damage to the enemies on top of the walls and below them, though these are the brimstone guns, so they're not going to do anything crazy. They're much better off targeting large entities and single units, so we are going to send them off to kill the only anti-air unit that this entire enemy army has, which is this unit of skull cannons, in a little bit. However, we are still going to continue the bombardment for a little while. I mean, why the heck wouldn't we? If the enemies are going to just stand on top of the walls, our cannons should take advantage. And there we go. And wow, that cannon shot really only knocked out one of the bloodletters. Bit of a shame there, but, well, kind of not surprising. These are cannons, after all. It would still be better to be using grudge throwers to destroy infantry, but for now, it's fine. 4 cannons is still quite a bit, and we still have to wait for quite some time until our very slow reinforcements arrive. With the arrival of the reinforcements, we have, what, like 12 grudge rakers on the field? It's quite a bit, though a few are going to be kept back guarding the cannons just in case the enemy can summon bloodletters, and I know I said last time that I'd check whether the bloodletters could be summoned, but I promptly forgot. I promptly forgot to do it this time again. So, we're going to have to continue guarding them. Well, either way, the cannons are continuing to fire from the front, the brimstone guns from the back, and the poor units on the walls don't really have much of a prayer. Too bad we don't have a couple of the regular gyrocopters to make quicker work of the enemies on top of the walls, but it's fine. And this army's about guns, after all, and brimstone guns are guns. I'm not sure that the steam expulsion ability of the regular gyrocopters would count for this purpose. Though I'll think about it. We definitely want some organ guns in here as well, but, well, that'll be when we get our first Tier 5 settlement, which should probably be either Karak or Karak Eight Peaks. We do have higher growth at Karak Eight Peaks, even if we got it, like, I don't know, 30 turns later than the other one. I don't remember how many turns. Maybe not 30. But a fair few. Anyway, the cannons have finally knocked down those enemy gates, and the rest of our army can start moving forward. I'm just going to speed this up a little bit as well. I think we've seen enough of the bombardment, and it's already proved fairly effective, as the enemies here have lost about most of their HP on 3 units and half of their HP on 2. In fact, it looks like this Chaos Warriors of Khorne unit is pretty much done. The rest of our units move forward, and our reinforcements even brought some Quarrelers here, which can arc over the wall as well. Are there... this is a cemetery. Or at least there are random tombstones on the, on this little grassy field, and they're facing different directions as well. I didn't notice that. I'm now wondering, are the tombstones always here on this map, or is it only the version of the Vampire Counts map? I assume it's only the Vampire Counts version. Well, I just have to appreciate these maps even more. Especially because this is still my favorite architecture in the game. Gotta love vampire stuff. Although I may be just a little bit biased. Anyway, we continue the bombardment, but the rest of our units have moved forward. We are finally moving our brimstone guns away now that they're at half ammo to go after those skull cannons and chase them around, as they should be quite adept at knocking them out and not super vulnerable to return fire from said skull cannons, as the gyrocopters aren't really that fragile, though. So, while I say they're not really that fragile, it depends on what they're facing, obviously. Just thinking back to my Chaos Dwarf campaign and the... Ooh, nice. Iron Drakes firing through the gate. Very, very nice. Love it. Absolutely love it. What was I saying? I got distracted by the glory of flamethrowers. Blunderbusses. Blunderbusses knock gyrocopters out of the sky extremely quickly. Man, I'm kind of surprised that the Chaos Dwarfs don't have an Iron Drake equivalent unit. They're all about fire, but they don't have flamethrowers. You'd think that they could come up with them, especially as the Iron Demon does have a flamethrower mounted on its front rather than the cannonades that the regular... Or the Demon's Tongue, rather, has flamethrowers rather than the cannonades. So kind of surprising there. Well, whatever. We're not super concerned about ammunition because, well, we're not going to be making use of enough. Ooh, I do love watching the Grudge Rakers fire. I gotta do a Grudge Raker versus a... versus a blunderbuss sort of thing, just to see. I suspect that the blunderbusses are much more effective, but maybe the Grudge Rakers would be better in melee because of their capability of firing well in melee, though I haven't tested the same on the blunderbusses as yet. Plus, blunderbusses just seem so ridiculous with the amount of damage they deal. I don't feel like the Grudge Rakers would be of the same caliber. I do have to wonder whether SFO is going to nerf them a little bit, because they seem just a little bit overtuned. Like, there shouldn't be a one unit that is just so good that you basically want it in every single army, outside of perhaps artillery, and then artillery isn't often a matter of it being so good so much as it is a matter of you needing artillery, or at least in campaign, to outrange the enemy. But it's things like Warplock Jezzails and blunderbusses for the Chaos Dwarfs, and to some degree Death Globes, that are, well, now Jezzails still outgun Death Globes in the sense that they kill them all before the enemy gets into range. But yeah, blunderbusses and Jezzails are the two of those ridiculous units that you just can't go without. And now I'm just wondering, is there an equivalent unit in the regular Dwarfs roster where you have to think hard about not including it in a roster? For the Cathins and for the regular Imperials, they have their rocket artillery. Mortis engine for the vampire counts. Yeah, many factions do have that one unit that you just gotta build at least one or a couple of in every single army. Very, very nice hits from the cannons now along the lines of Chaos Warriors of Khorne. Yeah, I don't think there is one in the regular Dwarf army. Like, there are extremely good units like Ironbreakers, but I'm not like, man, can I field an army without Ironbreakers, or should I even try to field an army without Ironbreakers? Because other units can still do their job and hold the line and do damage and whatnot. They're just the best at it. Plus blasting charges. But they don't provide something in the way that blunderbusses and Jezzails and Mortis engines and Fire Rain rockets and Hellblast or Hellstorm rocket batteries do, that other things in the roster do not, that you can't go without. Or probably shouldn't go without at any rate. I'll have to think about it. I mean, I suppose Belegar would say Rangers, but that's for him personally, and he has crazy buffs to them, so that doesn't really count. Anyway, these guys are still having a bad time, and we're just slow cooking the walls there. Fortunately, all of these guys have plenty of ammunition, so we can continue this for a while. Not the most, I would say, exciting battle this time around, but we have to remember that we have very, very little in the way of replenishment, and on top of that, we have to breach the walls. Finally, the first of the walls is breached, and between the wall and the gate being breached, we were able to move into the settlement, and I think we prepared our way well enough at this point. I do love using the Iron Drakes like this to burninate the enemy through the gate. If they run out of the breach, they get hit by so many of those Grudge Rakers. If they don't run out of the gate, they get burninated and quarreled and whatnot. And damned if you do, damned if you don't. And when although I guess the demons are used to being damned to some degree. Ha ha ha. Man, those Merlins are really good at protecting enemies from grudge rakers, though it's hardly surprising as well. Oh, well. If it isn't some Fleshhounds of Khorne who have decided to leave the safety of their settlements and move in and try to take out those Iron Drakes. That said, other Iron Drakes are going to take them out instead, and the grudge rakers and Quarrelers are going to follow suit, and the Fleshhounds will begin melting away quickly. Don't see any Iron Drake corpses, so I think we're fine. Alright, and more enemy units are getting killed on the inside of the settlement. Bounce power is about 90% in our favor. We've also killed the Skull Cannon with our Brimstone guns. We can see their ammunition has dropped, and they're now just chasing around this Blood Reaper while we start heading forward. Oh, wait, there's another unit of Fleshhounds. Well, unlike the rest of the enemy army, at least the Fleshhounds are actually brave, and this is why they're Khorne's best doggos, and I'm including all of his mortal followers and demons in that description. This is why Khorne favors the Fleshhounds. These guys didn't even run out. Anyway, we got a second breach in the walls now, and now I promise we're heading into the settlement. Here we go, and we will lead with the Warriors of Dragonfire Pass, who have been waiting for like 30 turns to actually get into some combat. We're finally building out Ranulfson's army here. And while we do still have to get at least a few more of the Iron Drakes in his army, he's basically ready to go. It'll be a long time till we can get flame cannons, but at least we have the Warriors of Dragonfire Pass, we have Iron Drakes, and maybe we can get some artillery from some of our friends to get more fire damage stuff. Although I do think that Thor Grim has to take priority with regards to the rocket artillery, mostly because he can buff it so much more than anybody else, just by virtue of the fact that he buffs all artillery rather than specifically Dwarven artillery. Anyway, some Fleshhounds and some Bloodletters heading on in, and looks like these guys have at least reached the Grudge Rakers, who surprisingly decided not to fire in melee, though they were on guard mode, but that's okay. The Warriors of Dragonfire Pass are here. Like I said, they were waiting for a little bit of action. And they should be able to deal with the Fleshhounds fairly quickly. There we go. Gotta be careful with our own Iron Drakes, but the Warriors of Dragonfire Pass should have quite a bit of fire resistance on them at 50%. Ah, no, that's the Iron Drakes. 25%. It's decent, but we would still probably take some damage at least from the Iron Drakes. Anyway, with that, the battle is pretty much ours. Absolutely no problem at all, and I think if we had not taken damage to our Thunderers via that one tower, we would have barely taken any damage whatsoever. I think the enemy Blood Reaper was also killed by the Gyrocopters with Brimstone guns, and while they didn't do a crazy amount of damage, 13k and 14k, that's actually pretty respectable. Might have been one of the higher damage amounts of all units that aren't cannons. Damn, 21k and 38k damage on one of the cannons. Alright, you know what? I think this is the best we've seen the cannons do so far in this campaign, and honestly, for cannons, this might be the best I've ever seen cannons do so far between this campaign and my Empire campaign. Generally, I get pretty disappointed by cannons, but in this one siege, they had the time to shine. And yeah, it was because they were able to deploy on top of that hill and actually fire on top of the walls, which they're not normally able to do. Still, very nice for him. Alrighty, and with that, the last of the Fleshhounds fall and the battle ends. Almost on cue, just a little bit off cue. One day I'll get it, guys, I promise. No, I won't. Alrighty, there we go, easy enough. A little bit of damage to our unit of Thunderers that I accidentally let the towers hit, and that was by far the most damage that we took in that battle. But once again, hardly surprising considering it was just a garrison. We're gonna occupy the place as it is a Badlands territory. Got a free Teller of Tales and another student. Great. Are we able to build a special building here? No, it's not for us. Only for the dead. Empire Counts and Followers of Nagash. We also do not need the Dwarf Tinkerer's Shop at the current time, and let's not collect the income for a little while. I think we're gonna go straight to... I was about to say straight to walls and gate, but if we have a lot of armies here, we won't actually need the defensive structures here at all. Really, we'll only need them to fight the Skaven and the Orcs, but the Orcs will spawn at Angrund and Karak Eight Peaks and Draja and Misty Mountain. Oh. Actually, that reminds me, if these guys spawn at Misty Mountain, will we need defenses at Kradtamen? Well, I mean, if we have a full stack there prepared for it, probably not. Although I suppose it depends on the full stack, but, well, once again, long way away. You guys, Lyric, I guess you're staying here. How long will it take to heal the Thunderers? Oh, 6 turns. Ah, game, why? Why? Okay, well, we still have buildings to build, and we still have Diplo to do. Yes, Diplo. Diplo. We didn't do it last episode. Marienburg, we don't care about yet. We have no good trade agreements right now. Defensive alliance. Ooh, Ice Court. Was there a reason I didn't want to do this before? Big aversion from the various wood elves, or is it just from Arguila? No, from all of them. They all really don't like the Ice Court, but the Ice Court's little Groms could certainly fit in with some of our armies, and Bear Cav is, well, it's Cav. We don't have Cav like Chaos Dwarfs have Cav, so it's certainly something that could fit in with our armies, and honestly, I feel like Bear Cav would fit in with like a Slayer army, wouldn't it? It feels right, doesn't it? Let's see. Let's go defensive alliance with you, but we'll start with the defensive alliance with Carcassonne. Hopefully that'll at least partially counteract the dislike, because the various elves love them some Carcassonne. Yeah, just defensive alliance. Alright.
The Empire.
I wonder if that showed us more elves that hate us. It's possible. Alright, defensive alliance with the Ice Court as well, might as well. And yeah, we'll take your money. I mean, 3,000 gold is nothing to sneeze at.
So.
Alright, anything else, San? Ooh, lots of military alliance. Goldtooth is willing to go military, but we'll wait on that. Ice Court will probably do military eventually, but let's let him save up some money and then take that. We have a mission from Tilea, though we don't care about it, but you know what? It might unlock other missions. Ardra full of teeth, and no, it did not unlock other missions. Oh well. We'll build outposts in Kislev, help them protect it. And Carcassonne, you have Cav for us as well, but alas, you have no room directly in Carcassonne, only in Brionne and Quesnel. Quesnel might actually fall soon. You know what, we'll wait on that one, I think. Neither one is particularly critical. Western provinces, I think, is too weak. Ooh, actually, that reminds me. You know what we need to do? We need to ask Nakai to join war against the Blessed Dread. They're becoming quite the problem. Lokir is generally quite the problem. Let's initiate diplomacy. How much would you take to join war against the Blue Roses? 2.8. And the Blessed Dread? 3.3. Oh, 6.5k, it's not bad. Is there anybody else here? Well, we could try Village as well. Puppets of Misrule. 3.3, that hasn't changed much. Anybody else in these territories that you have a we have a particular dislike for? Well, I guess those are the main ones that we want to be concerned with. Do we actually want them fighting the Blue Roses, I guess is a question. We don't want them taking mountain territories, although will they bother to do so when they're bordering the Blessed Dread? Probably not. Let's pay them. I'm willing to do that. There you go, Nakai, and that should mean that the defender... Huh. Wait, the defenders don't directly declare war on them, so Nakai by himself will be fighting these guys, but these guys will not? Maybe they will join next turn. It's always been very bizarre. I think this was fixed in the patch, that it's, that this doesn't happen anymore, I think.
Yes.
I gotta double check.
Yes.
As in the Chaos Dwarfs patch, but obviously this is the previous patch because it's an older version of SFO. But anyway, I believe we have a little bit of money to spend, though where do we spend it? Let's see if there's anything that we can get for reasonably cheap, or we save it for next turn. Ooh, Mount Gunbad. There's a lot of money to be had from this province. You know what? Now we're gonna build the stuff at Gunbat, and the public order here ain't great. We do want the growth, and we'll be willing to spend on that, and we will want the construction site, but we will wait for our engineer corps to get here for that. Hopefully we'll be able to build both at the same time at that point in time. We're going to put you back into Venerate the Ancestors, however, because, well, you're having a lot of trouble right now in terms of the costs. Alrighty, with only 3,000 gold remaining, I think we're good to end the turn. We do need to do two things, though: assign a new tech and assign the student that we just got. Let's unlock a 1-level magic item drop chance. Yeah, let's go magic item drop chance. More magic items for us. Dwarf Warriors and Miners buffs, we will probably no longer be using Dwarf Warriors, so we probably don't need that. I mean, we still have some of them, and I guess it does help them in defensive battles, but I'm not sure how much we actually care about that. We're already so strong on the defense. And actually, there are more Longbeards, it seems, in defensive garrisons than there are Dwarf Warriors. I wonder what tier 5 defenses look like. Well, Karak Drash still has some Dwarf Warriors. We have a couple here still. Maybe it will be worth buffing. Anyway, skip, and student. To who? You, constructor. Did I already give you a... Damn it. And not delete. Not delete could use a student because he's not being deleted. And therefore we'll keep it. Makes sense to me. Alright, student for you, buddy. Alright, what are we at now in terms of our techs? Ooh, nearly 500. Hopefully at 500 this line will turn to 1 turn, rather than 2. Alright, now we can end the turn and see if the exiles try anything in reprisal, or whether the orcs come to play. Those are pretty much the only options. End turn. Exiles, nope. Can't reach us yet. Serena Catherine, you want a military alliance. Would you just wait for this? You know what, screw it, just do it. Do we really care about waiting for an extra couple hundred gold? Just do it, just go military alliance. It'll also make all of the other manling factions friendlier with us by virtue of the fact that they love Kislev. I like that the way that the dwarf settlements are in the mountains. It almost looks like the mineral veins on the map, which just seems so right, doesn't it? All right, now out of curiosity, when this turn ends, I want to see if the defenders of the Great Plan are at war with the Blessed Dread or not. What did that say? The Ruinous Raider grudge. Hey, that's my favorite kind of raider. Raid any region belonging to Khorne. Oh, Axe of Drago. Yes. Alright, quest issued. We will be doing this in next episode. It'll be a nice new cinematic battle. Ooh, Chaos Warriors aplenty and with reinforcements. So that looks like it'll be an interesting fight for our Slayers. Yeah. Might be a difficult one. We'll want to be at full HP by the time we fight it, though, that's for sure. Oh, another student. Swell. I'll have to assign that. I'll assign it between the episodes if I remember. Where are we being raided? Oh, Skarbrand is here. I moved grimly away from Granty Mingle, thinking that he wasn't, but he was there all along. That's rude. And that is tremendously rude. But now Grimly is close enough to Recruiter Grimtide's son that I think we want to trade units. So that he has his Longbeards, and then he can face off against Scarby in fairly decent capacity, I would think, especially with all the extra damage. I don't know whether we want to keep the single grudge thrower in this army, though. He's the Quarrel Seeker, which is what bothers me. But anyway, we'll move that stuff later on. I just want to see, are you able to auto-resolve this? I mean, you probably are, but are you able to do it without losing half your army, I guess, is the question. Close victory, but a casualties low. Please don't hurt the Ironbreakers. Ironbreakers are more or less fine, which is the ones that we cared about, so we're good. We'll take the money as we usually do. The camp is destroyed, and that's another student. Okay, I have 2 students to assign between the episodes. We got a Dwarf Bride on Burnoth. Burnoth does not need a Dwarf Bride, nor does he need the Potion of Strength. He can keep the stonemason, however. You, Belegar, are headed to the Black Fortress, though as to whether we need to actually manually attack it or not... Oh wow, actually. It has some nice stuff. Maybe we'll fight this next episode. Close victory, casualties medium. It's got plenty of gorgers, iron guts, lead belchers, man-eaters. Yeah, that seems like it's worth a fight. Alright. I will happily fight that one and enjoy it, and we're probably, I would say, 89.6%, I don't know why, high chance that we're going to trade Black Fortress to Greasy. I do want access to some of Greasy's units if we can manage it. Anyway, I think this is probably going to be a pretty good place to call it, so I'm going to call the episode here. Next episode, presuming that we have the requisite HP. We need to kill for one more turn. Alright, fine. We'll wait for one more turn and then we'll fight the battle for the Axe of Drago. But then if we can't fight that, Grimly will fight Skarbrand, and then we will fight the Black Fortress with Belegar and continue on towards the dead once again. Though I guess it also remains to be seen what exactly we're going to do with the Dragon Isles, as they're relatively useless to us. I wonder if we could trade them to our allies for some stuff. Maybe if somebody we know or like takes stuff in the mountains and then we can take it back from them. Where is Greasus's current capital? It's in Karak Eight Peaks. Actually, we want these guys to take it so that we can take it for ourselves. Anyway, and that'll be a problem for next time, and stay tuned for all the upcoming battles, as it looks like there's going to be some good ones here. Grimly versus Skarbrand I'm particularly excited for. Don't forget to leave a like and comment. All glory to the algorithm, and thanks for watching.